Modern mobile devices and wireless Bluetooth earbuds support many different audio codecs, so many in fact that it can be difficult to understand which ones are better or worse, which ones you should select, etc. So here we'll go over all of the various codecs, at least the most important ones to you, and talk about how they differ and which ones you should consider. But first and foremost, we need to talk about what makes these codecs good or bad, and it mostly comes down to the sound quality, which, well, how exactly do we define that kind of sound quality? Well, first and foremost, there is the sample rate, which is how many times a second the audio is sampled, which is usually defined in hertz. And the kind of golden standard there is 44.1 kilohertz, which is what most good audio nowadays is usually recorded and then outputted at. However, it can go beyond that when necessary. Then there's the bit depth, or how many bits are used to represent each sample, with more of course being better. The most common ones are 16, 24 and 32-bit, with 16 being by far the most common of all. And then there's the bit rate, or how many bits per second are used to actually represent that audio. So for example, if you have some completely uncompressed 16-bit 44.1 kilobit per second audio, that will give you a bit rate of 1411 kilobits per second. With all that out of the way, here's a rundown of the most important Bluetooth audio codecs currently available. As you can see, it's a pretty long list and there's even more out there. However, these are just the most important ones. The key ones to keep in mind are things like SBC and its successor LC3, both developed by Bluetooth themselves, and they are extremely efficient when it comes to actually compressing data. Then there's the various Qualcomm aptX codecs, which are made specifically for Android devices, so you can't get this on iOS, for example. Then there's AAC, probably the most well-known audio codec and the standard, especially on the Apple side of things. However, it can also be used on other devices as well, which has pretty much the perfect combination of quality as well as efficiency. Now, there are also some exclusive codecs for Samsung with the Samsung Seamless codec, and don't let the name fool you, the Sony LDAC codec is not exclusive to Sony devices and can be found on pretty much everything on the market as well. Now, your device usually just uses the best quality codec anyway, so it's not something that really matters a lot or something you usually have to change, and in fact many people may not even be able to tell the difference between these various codecs. They will all just end up sounding the same or just very minimally different at most. It of course also depends on the capabilities of your Bluetooth earbuds, with newer and higher end models obviously being able to take advantage of higher bitrate audio when compared to much cheaper ones, so that's something you also have to consider. But that's pretty much everything you need to know about the various Bluetooth audio codecs. So if you found this video helpful, maybe subscribe to How To Authority for more like this in the future.